Hello. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Rob, and today I'm gonna teach you how to get them kickflip crooks, them little kickflipping crookies. Alright, so this trick is really hard, really frustrating. It's one of those tricks that's pretty easy to like try, and you can get away, you can pull one off, but to do the trick properly and do it right and have control on the ledge, it's really frustrating. Even when I was filming this the other day, I was getting pretty frustrated because I wanted to get just a perfect one where my shoulders were aligned and I popped out clean and all that stuff. And one of the biggest reasons I'm doing this trick tip is because there is not a single trick tip on YouTube about this trick. There is one trick tip, and it's by a guy named Skate Hacks, but in my opinion, he kind of teaches you how to do it the wrong way. And in that dude's defense, he's literally like one of the only guys on YouTube that skates at a professional level and teaches people how to do tricks. So I believe his videos hold a lot of weight because he does everything properly. He's an amazing skateboarder. But this was one of the trick tips he did where the way he teaches it is gonna give you a lot of problems, and I thought it was my civil duty as a skateboarder to help you guys out with kickflip crooks. So I'm gonna explain it in a simplistic way about how you do it, and then I'm gonna explain how not to do it, and then I'm gonna go over the common mistakes that you have when you do kickflip crooks. So before you learn how to do the trick, make sure you can crook a grind like really good, like really, really good, and make sure you can kickflip really good. Not like that, and not like this, like really good. Now you're ready to do the little kickflip crook, kickflip crook. So let's get into these tips. You should also be able to kickflip back 50 like it's nobody's business, like you're going to the store on a Sunday morning to get some gummy treats. You feel me? These little tips. First thing I should cover is your foot position. Nothing too special. You literally want to put your foot like you would for a normal kickflip. You can actually move your front foot a little bit farther up to get a quicker flick, but it really doesn't matter. And your back foot, you can put it a little bit more in the pocket if you want to. Once again, that's preference, it doesn't really matter. Essentially, you just want to have your foot in a nice, comfortable kickflip position. Okay, so one more tip that I totally forgot to mention, and this is a big one, and this is one you might not think about. When you do the trick, you need your kickflip to be really nice, has to have a good, powerful flick, and has to poke into the crook, so you can just wait to lock it in. And if you have really old, washed out shoes, it's gonna make it really hard. This is one of the tricks where new shoes, I actually started using these specifically for this trick because my old shoes are destroyed. A nice new toe cap is gonna like make the trick so much easier because it's gonna give you more friction on the flick, which is gonna poke the kickflip down, and that's essential. So if you're getting really close and you're locking into it a bunch and grinding it, maybe you've even landed a few, but you just feel like you can't lock it right, try to get some new shoes. And I know everybody can't do that, but if you can, it's gonna make this trick so much easier. I remember when I used to skateboard like all the time and I was filming video parts, I literally would wait until I had new shoes to go film lines where I did kickflip crooks and stuff, and like kickflip crooks down handrails, because when you have new shoes, it just makes a world of difference. So definitely try this with better shoes, and if you don't have good shoes, you can still pull it off. I've done this trick with like the most messed up shoes. It just makes it a little bit harder. I'm gonna be showing you how to do this trick, and for this example, this is gonna be the ledge, so I can teach you like the angle and everything. So just pretend this is the ledge, and I'm gonna give you the basic explanation of how you kickflip crook. So the first thing you wanna do is you want to understand that this is parallel to the ledge, all right? This is what you're gonna be doing if you're doing like a kickflip back 50. So you wanna do that, but you wanna come at an angle like this, all right? Now, this is the tricky part with kickflip crook. You need to find out the angle. You don't wanna come at a harsh angle. That's gonna do board slide and nose manual, and that's all bad. But you don't wanna come at too short of an angle either. You wanna find a sweet spot. So I would say about like this, very slight angle, and when you approach the ledge, you wanna get as close as possible. Like you wanna get really close to the ledge. Now, in simple terms, all you need to do is kickflip. And then you're gonna land with your wheel right on the corner of the ledge, okay? You don't need to do anything to your kickflip. You just need to find the right angle, really close, and you just do a kickflip. And you're gonna land right on this wheel right here. Okay, but obviously skateboarding is not that simple, so I'm gonna give you 2 tips that are gonna make all the difference. When you go to do the kickflip, generally when you flip into crooked grinds like heel flip crook, kick flip front crook, or when you flip into stuff in general, you flip right towards the corner of the ledge, right? You kickflip right towards the corner. But if you do that with a kickflip crook, you're just gonna do this. You're gonna get into that weird little like no slide thing like this, and you're gonna miss it, and it's really frustrating. So to fix that, instead of flicking towards the corner, you flick a little bit past it. I would say in your mind, think 4 to 5 inches past the corner. So flip up above the corner and a little bit beyond. And if you do that, it's gonna flip around and you're gonna land right on the corner with your wheel. Now, to explain why that happens, it's because with the kickflip crook, it's flipping into the ledge like this. So you need an extra little bit of like push, I guess, for it to come around. Like for example, when you do a heel flip crooks are a lot easier. You're flipping at the corner and it rolls into the ledge. But a kickflip crook is flipping away from the ledge. So you need to flip a little bit above and beyond, and that's gonna give it the extra little push to lock in. That's a huge tip. So flick a little bit past the corner, almost up on top of the ledge, how your flick should be. The second thing that's gonna happen to you with kickflip crooks, which is the most annoying thing, and this is, I would say, most people's problem, is they go to kickflip crook, and then you step on the ledge and the board's over here. So it's like, you flick, and it's just, you keep stepping on it. You can't stop stepping on the ledge. Now, if you do a heel flip crook or a kickflip front crook, you flick towards the corner, and you literally push the thing into the ledge, and it works every time. Once again, that's because your flick is on this side. So when you flick, the board is ahead of your foot. But when you kickflip crook, your foot is on the right side, and the board's flipping away from your foot. So no matter how much you weight or whatever, your foot is always gonna be ahead of the board. So you always just end up stepping on the ledge. It's like you can't get the board to go. Now to fix that, it's really simple, but it's really awkward, okay? And this is something that nobody's talked about with kickflip crooks, and I think it's the most important thing. When you kickflip crook, you flip, and you literally just hold your leg in the air. You never push your foot onto the ledge. At no point during the trick do you push it into the ledge. It will never work, and it's super weird. So you kickflip, you literally just hold your foot right here, and you just wait until gravity pushes it on. So flick, and your foot is just up here waiting. You never push into the ledge. You just wait, and then gravity will lock you in perfectly. And then you grind on the ledge, and at the end of the ledge, you give it a little nudge forward. Exiting the ledge isn't too hard, because if you can crooked grind, you're gonna be able to dismount the trick. The hardest part is flipping and getting into the ledge. Okay, so now I kind of want to talk about what not to do. And the other guy who did a trick tip on this, he says you want to go parallel, and you want to kind of scoop outward and bone your kickflip into the crook. Okay, so you're riding parallel, and you tweak the kickflip into the crooked grind. Okay, so this will work for you, but if you really want to get a proper kickflip crook, you shouldn't do this. The main reason you shouldn't do this is because if your body's parallel like this, and you open up your shoulders and you tweak the kickflip, you're always gonna lock into your crooked grind heavy on your heel, and your shoulders are gonna be all weird, and when you go to pop off the ledge, it's just gonna be awkward. Now this might work for you if you're just doing kickflip crook on a ledge, but if you wanna progress your skating properly, like if you wanna do a kickflip crook nollie flip out, or like a kickflip crook half cab flip, if you do it this way, your shoulders are gonna be super weird, and you're not gonna be able to flip out properly. It's gonna be really hard. Also, when you start to kickflip crook into handrails, specifically round rails, when you're I guess changing your kickflip, when you're making the kickflip like bone and tweak, there's just a lot more that can go wrong, and you're way more prone to like popping into board slide, and it's just really difficult. That's why instead of going parallel, you get really close at an angle and you just kickflip, and you're not changing your kickflip. The kickflip is just perfectly straight, and it's just, there's less going on. It's easier to be precise, because with kickflip crooks, one of the hardest things is there's a lot of precision that goes on. You're literally landing on a 1 little inch spot right by your wheel, and if you're too straight, it's gonna go like this. If you're too sideways, you're gonna do like a weird nose grind thing. So there's a lot of precision. And when you're shifting out a kickflip and boning it into the crook, just a lot can go wrong, as opposed to just coming at that perfect angle and kickflipping really quick into the crook. So that is why you don't want to do it like this. And like I said, it'll work. You can make it work. I can do kickflip crooks like that, but this way is just the best way to do it. And you got to be careful though not to take too much of an angle, because if you take too much of an angle, it just defeats the whole purpose of accuracy, because then, you know, you can do this. So it's a very slight angle, but that slight angle is just what makes the trick go. So those are pretty much my tips for kickflip crooks. I think I should talk now about what can go wrong with kickflip crooks. And I would say, yeah, there's like 3 things that can go wrong that's really frustrating with kickflip crooks. Okay, so let's recap. So we talked about the kickflip crook. This trick is actually very simple. Like, the physics of it are extremely simple, but that's what makes the trick so difficult, is because it's so simple you think you need to do extra stuff. So let's recap. Ride towards the ledge at a very slight angle, almost parallel, and make sure you do a really nice kickflip. Try to extend your flip a little bit past the corner of the ledge, like, and up on top of it. So flick up and on top of the corner about 4 to 5 inches, and kind of push the kickflip forward a little bit. When the board starts to flip, just hold your foot above the ledge. Never press the board into the crooked grind. You're always gonna end up stepping on the ledge. That was my biggest problem. Once I figured that out, I started to get them. So slight angle, kickflip up and past the corner, let it flip around, hold your foot with a little bit of weight on your front leg, lock in the crooked grind. If you take this slight angle and you don't try to shift to your kickflip, your shoulders are gonna be aligned perfectly. That's another reason why you don't wanna ride parallel and tweak the kickflip into the ledge. It messes up your shoulders. If you go to slight angle, your shoulders are aligned with the board, so when you lock into the crook, your shoulders are perfect, you have that leverage, you just snap out of the crook. Another thing that a lot of people do that I see, and this happens to me all the time still, is you do the kickflip crook and you don't quite land on your wheel. You don't quite land like this, you kind of land in the middle. It's kind of like a nose grind. And what happens when you do that is you either slip back or you totally stick, and you stick hard and you kind of fly forward. And that happens to people a lot. So you're like, oh, I must be doing the trick wrong. I need to like change the technique. All that means is your timing and your flick isn't right. So like how I said, you flick towards the corner of the ledge usually, and you want to flick a little bit past it. You need to play with how you aim your kickflip. Because when you flip it right in the right timing and you land right on top of your wheel, you're not gonna stick. You're gonna be perfect. If you do stick and you land in the sweet spot, that's obviously just shifting your weight. But a lot of times your weight will be perfect. You'll kickflip crook, you won't land in the crooked grind spot, it'll be more like a nose grind, and you're gonna stick every time. And that just comes to you timing out how you flick it. Like for me, I look at the corner of the ledge and I flick a little bit above it and past it. Some people might flick right at the corner. I've never found that to work. That always kind of goes into like a weird sideways no slide, but that might work for you. So you just need to play with how you aim your flick and mess with the angle too, because like everybody skates differently. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Like it really is just kickflip, crook. Like I know that sounds so simple, but I was actually working on these a long time ago when I was like 17, 18. And I remember PJ Ladd used to skate my local park in LA, and he really just one day he was like, dude, you're trying to like push the kickflip onto the ledge. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, dude, you just kickflip and then crook. And I was like, that doesn't help. So I was like, let me just kickflip and not do anything. I just kickflipped and just locked into it perfect. So you just find that angle, you kickflip, don't push it down, just wait and crook. And that should do it. If you like this trick tip, I would really appreciate it if you would like the video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you have any trick requests, send them down below. I can do a lot of tricks. I think I can do almost every basic trick, I hope. So if you have a trick request that you want to see, make sure to drop it in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.